Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. You want a little of inspiration, the juice. It is July the 20th, 2023, and today the topic is fake news. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope that you all had a wonderful Wednesday. Mine was just fine. I didn't necessarily go the way I thought it was going to go in regards to everything that I had intended to do. But I mean, to God be the glory for being flexible, right? Being able to do things, be accommodating to people and their schedules and things that pop up and whatnot. And so, yeah, yesterday ended up being I guess, somewhat another chill day for me. Um, but yeah, I can't think of anything of significance to share that I did yesterday. um, yes, I mean, let's get on into this conversation about fake news, y'all, because I mean, I know that might be a trigger. We know who coined that phrase and everything like that, and people might take issue with it, but I mean, well, what was the inspiration for today? So, well, I would say that partially the inspiration obviously is coming from the hot topic story about Miss Carly. Uh, I won't get into, I mean, those, I guess, in these days and times, y'all know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. For those that might watch this in the future, y'all might not know, but hey, I'm sure y'all can look it up. 2023 Carly, Alabama, y'all might be able to look it up. But anywho, basically, without going too deep into the details, I know everybody probably already know about the story. I'll just say my point of view of it, right? So we know that I think around this time last week is when we heard about her story about this, the lady being what seemed to be kidnapped, right? Good morning to my mama. Hey, mom. Thanks for tuning in live. So and I like probably like a lot of people shared the story, obviously, because y'all know that I have been kind of had my eyes open to this whole human trafficking situation and whatnot that's been going on, at least since my heart and mind and eyes and ears have been exposed to it since 2020. So obviously I've been sharing just about any story that I've seen that talks about someone being missing, because I mean, worst case scenario, it could have been me, right? It could have been me. It could have been a family member, or something like that. And so, when you hear stories, you take it seriously and you share and do what you can, right? You pray, whatever the case is. If you can't do nothing else, you at least do that, right? And so, yeah, like I, like everyone else, probably, share her story or whatever. And then come to find out this week, it's seeming to be that, it's all lies. And, now, see, I'm not opposed to the idea that, again, bigger picture. I'm familiar with this term, false flags, right? I'm familiar with the term of, this idea of things being done in the public eye to distract us from other things that are being done behind the scenes and things of that nature. So, is this another one of those examples of things like that? Perhaps, perhaps. But aside from that, right, I noticed that, the conversation about this, has people feeling some type of way, as they say, right? People are upset, obviously, because, of the lie and the resources that have been used to look for her and things of that nature. I do think it's a little weird. I heard the announcement, or the what's it called? I can't remember the name at the moment, the formal name, but it's like the news report or the statement, whatever, the statement that the police gave about the situation. And I found a few things interesting about that. I also found it interesting that they say that, they haven't talked to her, they've only talked to her once, and they're waiting to talk to her again. Like, for me, that sounds weird, because I mean, I haven't been, to jail or nothing, what I'm saying? I haven't done a crime, by the grace of God, and things like that, to know like what the process is. But, the little bit that I do know, like maybe just from watching crime shows or whatever it is, right, is that, they take people for, into custody, get the questioning and all kinds of things. I just think it's very interesting and a little bit weird that they're like, oh, we're going to wait for her to come to us to talk. Like that's weird to me, but I don't know. But in the midst of this conversation, right, and this whole topic and everything like that, and this idea of fake news and so many untruths being shared to the public and whatnot, what can combat that, and what does the Bible have to say about that? So the interesting thing is I came across an article at gotquestions.org that pretty much answers that question, and it pretty much answers the question, and I will read it. The title is, what does the Bible say about fake news? I think it was a good read this morning. It was a good read. I obviously went deeper and started to read other articles and whatnot as well. But I think that's a good one to read today as we reflect and come to terms with the present fake news that we're dealing with when it comes to this young lady. But just in general, right? What combats lies? And then ultimately, one of the most beautiful things that I saw in that article, if you don't go read it, is that it reminded me that truth, right? It is the ultimate thing that combats the lies. And then also alongside the truth needs to be humility. And I thought that was a very good thing to remember in the midst of all of this. So what does the Bible have to say about, truth and things of that nature, and lies and things? Here's this verse that was standing out to me this morning. So John 8:32, it says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I mean, that's one thing that we have to remember, right? And I know as I listened to it was like a virtual town hall meeting that Angela Stanton King hosted last night on her platform. And obviously people are up and, they're upset about all of this. They're like, this girl lied, this girl, da, 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 she needs to be held accountable. That was like one of the big words. Actually, that's what got me studying this morning, looking up the word accountability this morning, which ultimately led me to this conversation now. But even outside of what needs to happen to the young lady for lying and things of that nature, hopefully this is a reminder to us that the truth will come to the light. The Bible tells us that, and this is living example of that, right? The truth will come to the light. Like there's a lot of things when it comes to the story and everything like that people kind of doubted from the beginning and things, but even outside of that, right, there's things that she probably didn't take account of, right? Like that she would be filmed pretty much everywhere she went, that her phone was like a tracking device and all these different things, right? Even the statement that I heard yesterday, they were talking about things that she searched and whatnot, and all of that is came to the light alongside of her testimony, which is ultimately showing what the quote unquote truth is. Now, again, whether this was something beyond her or just something mentally going on with her, whatever the case is, that's still yet to be determined and whatnot. But what I hope that this reminds us all is that, again, yes, the truth will come to the light. Now, it says in the Bible that the truth will set us free, knowing the truth and everything like that. But before we go and tell lies, I mean, hopefully this reminds us that is it worth it at the end of the day to lie, right? Speaking of my mama, man, I was thinking about this morning as I was writing down these verses. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all saying I've never lied or nothing like that, right? But I would say that I was very hesitant throughout life to lie. One of the things that my mom told us growing up is like, we need to tell the truth, and we need to talk to her and tell her the truth, because it would need to be something that she would be I can't remember exactly how you said it, mama. If you want to comment below your exact words, that would be cool. But basically she would tell us that basically she would want us to tell the truth, because if she was going to defend us or whatever the case is, and have to put her head on a chopping block for us, based on whether we were telling the truth or not, like that's how important it was for us to tell the truth. And I mean, I don't know, that maybe for some people that might have been traumatic to hear as a child or whatever the case is, that, oh, what I say matters enough that if my mom has to put her head on a chopping block for me, because whether I told the truth or not, X, Y, and Z, like, that might be traumatic for some people. That encouraged me to, do my best to be honest. I think my mom, it says that she observed of me throughout childhood that I didn't too much lie, but I might have left some stuff out of stuff. I was that type of liar, I guess you would say. If I did lie, it was the type where I might not say everything. I might just say enough, but not everything. Even that still is lying, but still, it's just something to think about, right? Like, would you like? I don't know if that's going to help us today. That's just a testimony. Again, Mom, you can comment below with your exact words, what you say, what you feel about that today or whatever. But that is something that she told us growing up. And it was something I had to think about, in different times of my life about, whether I was going to lie about this or that, So just saying. Let's get into some more verses. So then Galatians 4:16, it says, have I then become your enemy by telling you the truth? Y'all, this verse stood out to me this morning. I mean, y'all can go deeper. I'm sure there's other context and whatnot going on, but it really stood out to me this morning. And as I was writing it down, I just pretty much thought about like the whole idea that people do take issue with the truth these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for example, when people are talking about, these things that are coming out and whatnot, and there's people that still trying to defend her and things like that. And be like, well, even if she was lying, X, Y, and Z, like that doesn't matter and stuff. And it's like, and everybody was kind of going back and forth in this town hall last night about the situation. But, am I your enemy by telling you the truth? It seems that way in this season. It seems that people, they do take issue with the truth. They do take issue with, even if you tell them in a nice, calm way, people still get offended by the truth. Now, I mean, maybe that's just what the truth does, right? That's just what Jesus does. That, there's going to be conflict and divide based on that alone anyway. But it's just one of those things to think about, that why is it that we are so offended by the truth? Like, the truth is the truth, right? You can still have your opinion about it or whatnot. You may not agree, and that's okay. But that doesn't change what the truth is, right? So anywho, that was just something that I thought about when I read that verse this morning. So then we got Ephesians 4:25. It says, therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Speaking again about the situation in this town hall I listened to and whatever, like, of course, somebody who, they were trying to defend her and was saying that she doesn't owe me anything. She doesn't owe me an apology. What do y'all expect her to apologize for? Da, 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 da. But on the flip side, there's a lot of things that happen, right? Like, when things happen on social media or someone like posts something about something that happened in your neighborhood or something's going on in their life or whatever the case is, and then they only give this piece of it, like a little bit of piece. I think if you put something out there to the public, you do owe an explanation. You know what I mean? You owe the truth to the people, because at the end of the day, like the whole thing caused an uproar, not only in her community, her family, her community, her state, and the nation. And so who knows how long, how far it went outside of, who knows, it probably went worldwide, but we know at least it was a nationwide issue. And so for the public is owed an explanation, at least, and that's why they're doing these public statements and whatnot now, I guess, to quote unquote appease us as the community, to let us know, quote unquote, again, what happened behind the scenes. Now, again, whether all that's fake news or not, that's still yet to be determined. But the public is owed something because it did cause people in an uproar. It does have people second guessing about helping people now. It has people second guessing about even posting people now when they see things about people being missing. Like, all of these things matter, and this is again another reason why it's important to tell the truth. There are people that are being, trafficked. You know what I'm saying? There are people that are being taken or missing and things of that nature. And so to play around with that is messed up, to say the least. And the public is owed some explanation to what happened. Because if there's any truth, for example, to the allegations or the story that was presented at all, then the public needs to know, like, okay, people are using babies on the side of the streets to get people. Now, if that's not true at all, and none of that's true, then again, the public needs to know, because then it will still be abnormal if something like that happens moving forward in life. So it's just one of those things, again, just reiterating how important it is to tell the truth. Colossians 3:9-10 keeps this going. It says, do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. So here's that other thing that shows us how important it is to change, right? This is I know we've been talking about this over the past week. Y'all probably tired of me talking about change, but hey, I mean, it's another thing that's reiterating how important it is. You can't live in sin, right, and continue to lie, continue to do old stuff when you say you come to Christ. At the end of the day, this is the importance of becoming a believer and coming to Christ and changing your life and things like that. So then you don't go through life and doing certain things. And unfortunately, if you haven't had that quote unquote conversion or that change or that cultivation period or whatever you want to call it, right? If God hasn't come into your life to change your life, right, then you're open and susceptible to doing evil, right? And that including from lying to whatever else outside of that, right? All of it's still wrong and evil and sin. And these are the things that we're open to when we're not believers, right? I know that might be Pope. Y'all might not want to hear that. That might be controversial and everything like that. But I mean, according to the Bible, that's what it's saying. And so again, once you come to Christ, you might not be lying as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say you're gonna be perfect or nothing like that, but I mean, at least you will be convicted. Again, like I said, my mom example to me a long time ago. I kept those things in my heart and mind, and those moments where I could have lied about this or that or whatever. I was like, well, it's better for me to tell the truth than to lie and things like that. And so, there's just certain values and morals and whatnot that you have as a believer that we can see that clearly that people don't have when you're not. And not to be like all believers are perfect or nothing. Again, I'm saying that it's a process that we're going through as believers, and it's a conviction of your heart and mind before you do stuff, right? Before you get like certain stuff you might not even think about anymore as a believer versus times when you're not. And so just things to think about, y'all. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. I got maybe a couple more verses to share. Ephesians 4:15. It says, rather speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ. So there you guys go. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, and you can have all the truth in the world, right? And I know there's people that are standing up on their high horses right now, and they're saying, well, I told you so. I told you she was lying, and da 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 da. And hey, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, if you were somebody that, you caught the red flags in the beginning, and you're like, hey, something ain't right about this store, whatever. I think what I believe as a believer, right? You can have the truth, right, but still be humble with it, give the truth in love. And I mean, that's ultimately the juice this morning. If you're concerned about fake news in any regard, right, whether it's fake news happening on a big scale or fake news of this individual and the story she shared, or just fake news in your own life, right, or lies in general, then this is how you combat it. You combat it with the truth, and you do so in humility and love. I mean, this is ultimately the juice this morning, y'all. I'm just going to share the Bible verse of the day now, and that is James 5:16. It says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, not juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Tomorrow's Friday, y'all, so y'all know that we have an episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out tomorrow night at 7. There's a young man named Jonathan Drayton, y'all. Very, very wise beyond his years. I'm looking at him like, man, I hope my son has your wisdom at your age when he grows up and whatnot. And so if y'all want to tune in and learn more about him, his episode is airing tomorrow at 7. But yeah, y'all have a great Thursday. Talk to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, like I said, that's the juice this morning, man. I don't got too much else to say about it. I mean, I get it. It's a hot button issue. People are up in arms and they are feeling away about this lie or whatever the case is. And well, hey, I mean, she's just one individual. People lie all the time, no judgment or whatever. I mean, she got to live with this the rest of her life, and whatever consequences come from it, she got to deal with that the rest of her life. And that's the thing. We should think about these things before we do stuff, right? It seems like she premeditated this situation, you know what I mean? And now whether this false flag, maybe somebody put her up to it, who knows? I hear there's mind control and all kind of stuff going on out here, this, or whatever. So I'm not sitting here and trying to just put it all on her or whatever. But again, those of us that are in our right minds and stuff, I mean, these are things to think about before you do stuff, before you lie, right? Just understand that there's consequences. The truth will come to the light, and ultimately the truth will set you free, right? So, but anyway, I done said my piece about it, man. Y'all can comment below if y'all want to or whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing. I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye.